In the Pits is sponsored by Hustletown Paintball. Hustletown is a brand by Jason Tinsley of Houston that is all about representing Houston paintball and highlighting its local talent. Head to hustletownpaintball.net to browse their selection of casual wear and use code PIT10 for 10% off of your order. In the Pits is partnered with Compete. Compete is a Texas-based brand by Jell Stewart of professional team AC Diesel that provides custom jerseys, pants, headbands, straps, tech shirts, and any other soft goods to help individuals and teams compete at the highest level. Support Texas Paintball and message Compete on Facebook or Instagram and mention In the Pits Podcast for 10% off your entire order. In the Pits is sponsored by FUAthletics, created with a purpose and focused on building a better you. We are a brand that matters in your workout, and every purchase gives back to cancer research. Go to thefuathletics.com and use code INTHEPITS25 for 25% off of your order. In the Pits is partnered with Get Dat Shot. Get Dat Shot now offers first-in-line photo and video editing, 20% off Get Dat Shot merch, and 20% off prints to all teams that wear the Get Dat Shot logo on their jersey. Message GetDat_shot on Facebook or Instagram to become a Get Dat Shot program team. In the Pits is partnered with Paintball Kumite. Paintball Kumite is a program designed by Colt Roberts of professional team San Antonio X Factor to take paintball players of all ages, experience levels, and skill groups and mold them into champions. The program breaks the game down into small, easy-to-learn sessions designed to help you master the fundamentals so that you can elevate your game. Newcomers to the program get a free 1-hour introductory class when mentioning In the Pits. To sign up for a class, message at Paintball Kumite on Instagram.
All right, let's try that one more time. Hold on. Sorry. Thanks for y'all's patience, everybody watching online. We've got a new overlay with 5 guests all on at the same time, so I'm just trying to make sure everything's perfect for our guests before we get started. John, can you talk one more time for me, please? Okay, perfect. Should be good. All right, y'all. Welcome, everybody, to episode 44 of In the Pits Paintball Podcast. This podcast is focused on everything that has to do with the paintball scene here in Texas, from professional players and teams to new divisional programs, local tournament series, field owners, Texas-based brands, even photographers and videographers. Every week, we'll have a short and sweet episode with a new topic and a new special guest. I'm Christian Smith. I'm a player for the Texas Titans, and this episode we are going in the pits with Cooper Harrison, Nick Ross, Anthony Rodriguez, Grayson Marcel, and Coach John of TKO Vale Tudo, which are the youth division winners from Bunkerfest Alamo Blitz. How's everybody doing this evening?
Good. Good.
Doing good.
Excellent, y'all. It's so great to have y'all on. This is a big episode. I've never had youth division players on, and I've never had 5 people on at the same time. So before we get started, I have something here from Alex Agosto, just about kind of how this line got started. So I'm going to read this. This is from Alex. And the question for him was, how did the TKO Young Guns line begin? So he says it started with Nick Ross. Nick came to try out for the team before the thought of creating a youth division line entered his mind. So talking with Nick's mom, it became a goal to get at least 2 more players his age to start the youth line. So Alex contacted Cooper and his dad, and the two agreed to come on over to TKO. So last, Coach John was able to bring Grayson on board, and suddenly they had 3 11-year-old players at the core of their newest TKO line. Anthony and Tristan were already members of TKO at the time, but now that they had this opportunity to play among players their age, they were happy to come along as well. And once they had all of their players, the final piece of the puzzle was to create a name fitting for a group of 11-year-old kids tough enough to play .68 caliber tournament paintball. They ended up keeping the TKO Texas knockout name and decided to christen the line with Vale Tudo, which is Portuguese for no holds barred, which those words have early roots within the MMA scene before MMA became mainstream in the United States. So that's kind of the history of the TKO line. I want to get into more of the history of each of y'all. So let's start with Anthony. So Anthony, could you tell everybody first, how old are you and how long have you been playing speedball or tournament paintball?
So I'm 16 years old. I've been playing tournament paintball for 4 years.
Awesome. How about let's go with Cooper next. Cooper, how old are you and how long have you been playing tournament paintball?
I'm 11 and I've been playing tournament paintball for about a year now.
Nice. About a year now. Next, let's go with Grayson.
I am 11 years old, and I've been playing for about 6 months.
Awesome. 6 months and already got a gold medal on you. It's pretty good. And then last, let's go with Nick. How old are you and how long have you been playing tournament paintball?
I'm 12, and I've been playing tournament paintball for about a year.
Nice. All right. So a couple of y'all are in your very early beginnings of your careers. Awesome. So this next question that I'm going to ask each of y'all is what made you want to start playing paintball tournaments, or what made you want to start playing speedball and then get into tournaments? So let's start with Nick on this one.
So pretty much I went out for a birthday once and I played paintball, and then I was like really intrigued with it, and I watched a video on like my idol, which is Dizon for Houston Heat, and I just watched him like flying down the D side, and I thought that was really cool, so I just like really wanted to be like him.
Cool. Ronnie Dizon's definitely a good role model to have. So next, let's go over to Grayson. So Grayson, what made you want to start playing paintball tournaments?
One time I just went out to a paintball field and played, and then ever since then I just kept playing paintball, and now I play tournaments.
Cool. So you came out, tried it for your first time, and then just you got super hooked into it. Love it. All right. Next, let's go to Cooper. So Cooper, what made you want to start playing paintball tournaments?
So my friend Levi, he was like me and friends and went to a birthday party down at Gat Splat, and ever since then I just had the thrill of just keep playing.
Nice. All right. And then last, Anthony, what made you want to start playing paintball tournaments?
I was offered to play my first paintball tournament during school, and then after that, I've just been playing paintball tournaments since.
Cool. So Anthony, for you specifically, you are an older member of this team, but you said you've been playing for 4 years now, so you were about the same age that the rest of your teammates are now whenever you first started, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So this next question is for Coach John, and this question is brought to us by Hustletown Paintball. Head to hustletownpaintball.net and use code PIT10 for 10% off of your order. So, Coach, you've coached this line for 2 events now, the first event being the XTPL 3v3, and then again at Bunkerfest. So, what are some improvements that you've seen in these players between the first event and the second event?
So for XTPL, Nick and Grayson really hadn't met each other. I think Nick and Cooper kind of knew each other, and then Anthony had been around, but that was really the first time they had ever played together at all. Granted, did well. Obviously, XTPL and the young guns at Bunkerfest are a different caliber. They're playing against kids that are their age and they're more their skill level than what I saw at XTPL for that 3-man event. But moving into Bunkerfest, I could tell just their body language and their communication on the field that they were much more comfortable with each other. Not only that, they were much more comfortable behind the bunker, behind their gun, and just not kind of freaking out and getting scared behind the bunker and actually playing paintball rather than waiting to get run down or stabbed. Or they were actually doing what I was telling them to do, doing the job, and then making sure that they were making the right plays at the right time.
Very cool. I know it's a big thing to have to get over that fear of getting shot. And it's really, really cool that it seems that you guys have all gotten over that really quickly, and especially at a really young age. I mean, I know players who start in their, late teens or 20s or even older than that it takes them a very long time to get over that fear of being shot. And then suddenly you're able to actually keep your mind fully in the game and what you have to do in order to win. So this next question is going to be for everybody. And you guys are all pretty much all from different cities within Texas. What was it that made you each want to come play for TKO? We're going to start actually with Cooper, because I know Cooper was actually on another Young Guns line before coming to TKO. So Cooper, what was it that made you want to come play for TKO?
Just the vibe of TKO and how they just communicated with their bodies and everything, and how just their vibe in general, and the way they talk after every single point, like, hey, why didn't you do this? Instead, hey, you could have done this better, and this is what you can improve on, and how just their just mood in general.
Nice. So you enjoy the vibe that TKO had, and that's a really important thing to have. If you're not vibing with the rest of the people on that team, then it's probably not going to go all that well. So let's go with Grayson next. So Grayson, what made you want to come play for TKO?
Well, so at first, Coach John got me into TKO, and then my first practice with them, like Cooper said, I liked the vibe. It was nice, and yeah, ever since then I've been here.
Awesome. Nick, how about you? What made you want to come play for TKO?
It's like the fact that the nearest spot, it didn't really have any. It was just like walk-ons, and it was rec ball. And then I came to Paintball Fit for the first time, and that was the first time I met Cooper, and I saw him doing all these cool things. And this was at the time where that was also the day of the tryout, and Cooper was there, and Cooper was just inspiring me, so I tried out for the team.
That's really cool. So Nick, just so we know, how long are you having to drive to get to Paintball Fit for practice?
It's an hour and a half.
Okay, that's a pretty decent drive there. That's 3-hour round trip every time you're gonna go practice. That's not something that comes too lightly. I mean, I know here in Texas, there's we're blessed with a lot of really good fields just all around the state, but Texas is also really big. So a 3-hour round trip every time you're going to practice, that's not a sacrifice to be taken all that lightly. So Anthony, same question for you. I know you've been with TKO for a couple of years now. So what was it that made you want to come play for TKO?
I was actually offered to play a tournament with them one time. And so ever since that tournament, I loved the way they played. And I think they liked me too. So I was able to stay, did tryouts, and I really love the way that we communicate as a team. So I'm willing to, and they're really committed, which I like.
Very cool. And I know that you play on multiple lines. You don't just play on the youth division line. You also play, you're going to be playing on the D4 5-man line at this upcoming NXL event. So you find that you have pretty good relationship with all of the different players that you're playing with amongst all the lines?
Yes.
Awesome. John, I want to ask you this question as well. So, John, I know that you're a player for Austin Notorious D2 line. What was it that, how did you get connected with the TKO Young Guns team?
So, first got to Texas, I moved here, and honestly, I did a quick Google search. I was living in Georgetown at the time, and Paintball Fit was the first field that popped up. For whatever reason, not Outlaw. So I made the 2-hour trek up there, and I met up with Alex and Omar. At the time, they were still TOG, the other guys.
Mm.
Ended up linking up with them, playing a couple tournaments with them, played World Cup in 2020 during the COVID season. Honestly, Alex is a great guy. Omar's a great guy. Cliff Dyer, he's a really wonderful dude. And I just like energy that they brought, and that they were actually focused on getting better. Moving forward, yeah, honestly, I found out about Outlaw, started playing with Notorious. At that time, TOG was transitioning to TKO. I still kind of guessed it on with them a few times, but again, I found out they were playing a young gun line, knowing Alex, I knew he was going to put everything he had into it. So I brought Grayson up, and then just over the course of conversation, Alex was like, "Hey, do you want to coach them?" And I was like, "I don't know, I'm not much of a coach, but I'll give it a shot." Here we are.
Awesome, and I mean, you've got the results to prove it so far. You got the win at Bunkerfest just in your second event as their coach, so something must be going right there. So this next question is actually brought on. We have a new sponsor for the show, which is Hermes PB. So In the Pits is sponsored by Hermes. Hermes has you covered for custom headwear, all hand cut and hand sewn here in the Lone Star State, from unique Baltic patterns to wax designs, even hand dyed material. Hermes also has a variety of other soft goods gear for off or on the field use. Check out Hermes on Instagram at Hermes PB. So that's you see that here on the screen, AIRMES PB. So this next question is going to be for Cooper and for Grayson. So both of you, and you know what, we'll get Nick in this as well. So Cooper and Grayson are just 11 years old. Nick, you recently turned 12, and y'all three are the youngest three players on the team, and probably the youngest players on any field you step foot onto, you know, besides going to these young gun tournaments. So is that something that's on your mind whenever you play paintball, especially whenever you're practicing against, you know, grown men and grown women? And how is it that you handle that mentally? So that, I know that's kind of a big question there. I'll give you a second to think. So the first person that we're gonna go with, let's start with Cooper on this one. So Cooper, being the youngest player, probably on the field whenever you step on, what goes through your head?
Honestly, I'm just there to play paintball. It doesn't really matter what age or height. Doesn't matter. Short or big, doesn't matter. It's just, I'm just there to play paintball, and that, like my dad said, just go play your game of paintball. Don't let anything ruin your day.
Great answer. Great mentality to have, Cooper. All right, let's go with Nick next. So Nick, what's going through your head, especially if you're, you know, going out there and scrimmaging against other, like, more grown paintball players?
Sometimes it gets in your head, but like as you're saying, we're younger, so like we're not as grown up as other people. So it's sometimes it's also like some people might think it's a disadvantage because like we're younger, we might be like a little bit more afraid of getting shot than like those other people that had playing a lot longer than us. But really, when it comes down, it's gonna hurt either way, and it's just playing paintball. And I think that being younger is kind of an advantage because you're smaller and you can kind of like get around the like bunkers a lot easier without people seeing. And like Cooper, he's like going to the snake off break, which is crazy for his age. And like people don't even notice it. Like some people just think maybe we killed one or something.
Awesome. Yeah. Definitely great to use the advantages that you do have. I mean, being the smaller size is an advantage. I know that players, there's like either you want to be below this size or above a certain height to be able to play certain spots. And I'm sure all of y'all definitely have some growing to do. But while you're this small, I'm sure you're taking advantage of it. So Grayson, same question to you. What is the age difference or experience difference? Is that something that goes through your head, and how do you handle that mentally?
When I step on the field, like I just want to play paintball, and it's fun, and I don't really worry about being younger or anything because it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just playing paintball, so yeah. I don't really think about it much, so I just get out there and play paintball.
Excellent, y'all. Those are great answers. Just great to have that mentality. You know what? Everybody else that's on that other start box, all they are 3 dudes or 5 dudes with guns. That's it. And it doesn't matter about the age or the experience. Like it could be, Houston Heat lining up on the other side or AC Diesel. All they are, it's just 5 dudes with guns. It doesn't matter who they are or what jerseys they wear. So, we're 5 dudes with guns or 3 dudes with guns too. So I love that mentality. Real quick, for everybody that's here in the chat, we've got a lot of people watching. I want to say welcome to everybody. If there's something that you want to ask any of the players or Coach John, if there's a question that you want to get answered on the show, go ahead and leave your questions in the chat, and we'll go through the chat towards the end of the show. Right now I have my settings as far as typing questions in the chat. It does say subscribers only, but that's just any length of time, and what that does is it keeps all of the bots out of the chat. So if you want to get your questions in the chat, type them in there. We'll get to them towards the end. All right, so this next question is specifically for Anthony. So, Anthony, you are the oldest member on your squad. You're 16 years old, and you've been playing for a couple of years now, and you have the most playing experience out of everyone on the team. So how do you use that experience to help your other teammates, and do you have any sort of leadership role on the team?
I'd basically say when I teach them for the mistakes I made when I was younger so they don't do them in the future. And if I was to say leadership-wise, I would honestly say no, because I want to have everyone's opinion on everything, on how we play. So we all have our own option. Right?
Very cool. I mean, it's very important to even as a leader, still always be learning. There's always things that you can learn. Love that answer. Great answer, Anthony. So this next question is going to be for Grayson and for Nick. So both of you guys are the newest players to tournament paintball on this line, having started playing tournaments this January, and I believe the Bunkerfest event was the second event for both of y'all. So how has it been to join a structured organization like TKO for your very first team? Do you think they're doing a good job helping you, helping your playing develop? Let's start with Grayson. So Grayson, how has it been joining TKO as your first team?
I think it's been really good, and I think it's a amazing first team to join, and I hope to be on this team for a while. And yeah, I think we're going to do good.
Awesome. Let's go over to Nick now. So Nick, how has it been to join TKO for your very first team? Do you think they're doing a good job helping you develop as a player?
Yeah, I think they've been doing a very good job, because at the start they kind of wanted us to just get the feel of having bullets getting shot at you at 200 miles an hour. But now that we're more aware of what's going on the field, we've kind of started doing a lot more drills than just playtime. So we because in the first part, before the 3-man, we were just trying to get over the fact that we're gonna get shot, and now we're more focusing on sliding drills and snap shooting.
Cool. So y'all are still going through, developing the basics, the core mechanics. But it sounds like they're helping you kind of go to your trajectory very quickly, and y'all are very fortunate to be able to have that great, that structure in TKO. I know just a few years ago, there were a lot of players in Texas, at the very least from where I started playing, that didn't have that. And a lot of players had to figure stuff like that out on their own. What was the best way to slide or the snapshot technique. And they didn't have a lot of feedback coming their way, and they didn't have a lot of people helping them out. So y'all getting to have all of these mentors and the structure from the get-go is huge. And I think y'all are going to become very, very good players very quickly. I think y'all's trajectory is going to be awesome. So this next question is for Coach John. So Coach John, looking at the first Bunkerfest event, obviously your team won, but how do you feel like the players did?
Yeah, we won, right? throughout, I mean, it was 3v3, so it was kind of round robin, but throughout the event, you could see just how much more comfortable everyone was behind the gun. I mean, there was one point I put Grayson out there and I sent him out to the Doritos I can, and I'm literally standing there on the sideline on the hill watching. I was like, he needs to move now, and as I'm thinking that, he makes a move out into the Doritos when the lane drops. So just for Nick and Grayson, I mean, the guys who aren't used to thinking through the game that way, you could tell that they had started learning what they need to do and when they need to do it. With regards to Cooper and Anthony, and honestly Tristan, they're a little bit more experienced, so I can tell them like, hey, go do this job, hold your gun here. And Anthony, sometimes some boneheaded stuff, but we could count on him that whole event to, if we needed to win a 1-on-2 or a 1-on-3, honestly, he won a couple of those for him to come through because he is a great gunfighter and he's a great player. And then Cooper, I mean, yeah, he can run standing up into the Snake One pillow and somehow stay alive. So there's a lot to be said for that.
Oh yeah, I felt like so real quick, you also mentioned one more name, and that's Tristan. So Tristan's not able to join us this evening. I think y'all said that he's on a cruise right now. But Tristan is also a member of TKO, a member of the line that won the event. So yeah, it's great to hear that their game sense is starting to develop a little bit, and I think it's a great thing that Bunkerfest has opened this division, the U3v3, to kind of give the opportunity for these players to learn it from the very basics and have kind of that safer spot to do these things instead of just throwing them into the meat grinder that is Division 5 in Texas or Division 4 or anything like that. It's really cool that y'all have this division. So, John, next half of that question, who was y'all's MVP of the event? Did y'all have an MVP of the event? And then what did they do to earn that?
Just real quick, I want to just jump back to what they were talking about when they said they're starting to do drills at practice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think these guys realize how lucky they are when they have the likes of Jell Stewart coaching them, who coaches AC Diesel, so he's out there almost every weekend with these guys. So these guys, they're set up for success moving into the future. And then as far as MVP, yeah. So at the event, Anthony played great the whole time. I counted on him and Tristan to play every point in the semis and finals. But MVP went to Cooper. There was one point in particular, it was the semifinals, and looked like it was going to go to a stalemate. Cooper got out to the snake corner and somehow dropped the ball on that center brick. I still don't really understand the physics of the shot he made because it doesn't make sense. It busted the game open for Anthony to get down the field, and we ended up winning the semis and then on into the finals from that. So Cooper ended up getting MVP for the event.
Awesome. Cooper, did they give you a reg? Awesome.
Yeah, see real quick. Okay, I'll show you.
Yeah, let's see it.
See lemon splatter?
Nice. Yeah, let me see if I can make your screen bigger. Do I have a option to do that? Focus this person. There we go. Yeah, Cooper, go ahead. Come right up to the camera. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Awesome.
The Powerhouse and TKO Anno.
Awesome. All right. So, this next question is going to be for everybody, and this question is sponsored by Paintball Kumite, which is Colt Roberts' training regimen. Message at Paintball Kumite on Instagram to sign up for a class. Mention In the Pits podcast for a free 1-hour introductory session. So this question is going to be for each of y'all. How was your experience playing the event? Did y'all have fun? What did you like about the event? And also, show off some of the prizes that y'all got. I see a couple of y'all are wearing your medals. I saw some belts earlier. Let's see it all. Oh man, those things are sweet. There's the belts. All right. So let's start with Anthony. So Anthony, how was your experience? How did you think the event was run as a whole? Did you have fun in general? What did you like about Bunkerfest?
The tournament was very easy. Not easy, but very I don't know how to put it, but I was very tired because at the end of the day, it was whenever we were playing the kids line, before that I was playing the D4, so I was kind of exhausted, but my experience was pretty fun. Bunkerfest.
Awesome. Let's go to Nick next. So Nick, how was your experience? Did you have fun? What did you like about Bunkerfest?
I really liked, like, it's like not really something that's describable. Like when we won, it was really fun. Me and Grayson, we had pods and we went over and dumped them on Cooper, Grayson, and Tristan. And that was really fun. And like when we were done with that, like it was like something that I won't forget. Like doing like the wine thing and just celebrating with everybody was really fun.
Yeah, the popping the champagne bottles. Yeah, that's great. All right. Let's go over to Grayson now. So Grayson, how was your experience playing Bunkerfest? Did you have fun? What did you like about it?
I had a lot of fun at Bunkerfest. I really liked the bunker layout too, and just the way the field was, and the people were nice. I liked it. And Nick, he said Grayson. He was supposed to say Anthony, but
Gotcha.
I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with what you said about everybody being really nice there. I think just the atmosphere in general was a lot of fun. I know a lot of players, spectators, they all just had a good time being there. There were a lot of people that flew in for it, and I think they agreed that it was a good use of their time. It was a good experience. So Cooper, how was your experience playing the event? Did you have fun? What did you like about it?
So what I liked about it is the first day it was so hard to not play. I'm like, the urge of just being at a paintball field and not being able to play is just one of the most devastating feeling for a paintball player. And then also thing I liked is the TKO like vibe and everything. It was just so perfect, and the way it made me feel, the way everybody was just so nice and everything. What I liked about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good paintball going on all throughout the weekend. I know Friday, Saturday were the Premier and D3 divisions. John, did you play in that?
I played for FSU or not in the Premier.
Awesome. So y'all, John, let's get the same question for you. I didn't realize that you played for FSU for that event. So John, how was your experience playing Bunkerfest, and what did you like about it?
Bunkerfest was an experience. They always come up with some wacky layouts. Obviously, as y'all were all there, getting outside was pretty much impossible. So going up the middle through the car wash is always fun. Go in dirty, come out clean, right? The rain kind of made it interesting. Some of the pictures y'all have seen are probably pretty cool. There was some talent out there. There were some good teams. There were some good players, D3, D4, and Premier. So Bunkerfest put on a great event. And yeah, like you said, a lot of teams flew in for this, and I know a lot of teams are coming back. So I don't know what they got to do to make space for more teams to come out, but I think with these prizes and the way they're running the events, it's going to get a lot more attraction to a lot more teams from across the country.
For sure. I know, looking at the event registration, I know that youth division sold out pretty much instantly. Youth division was again the first division to sell out. And then right after that were both of the 5-man divisions and D5 X-Ball. Right now, D4 X-Ball has 36 out of 40 teams paid. D3 has 12 out of, and it looks like they increased the limit to 20 teams. We'll see if they end up changing that or not. Premier still has a lot of space open, but I know that there was some very high level paintball being played. I think I can't remember which team it was. I want to say it was Rip City or Nasty, where they had Stephen O'Mara from Baltimore Revo. So yeah, it looks like it was Nasty that had Stephen O'Mara. So that was cool that we're getting some pro players. I mean, obviously Marky is a pro player as well for Austin Notorious's pro line. But it's cool that we're starting to get that level of really top talent able to play these events here in Texas.
Another thing I want to mention is like my dad. He played for Paintball Gateway.
Absolutely, and even just on our line, right? We had Hosky and Cole from the Killers, and then we had Diego and Renee. Who, I mean, again, that's top talent in Texas, so and Florida for that point.
For sure. Yeah. Cooper, you said your dad played for PB Gateway as well, and your dad won that event, correct?
Yes, sir, he did.
Awesome. Is your dad right there with you, Cooper?
Yeah, he's right here with me.
Yeah. So PB Gateway ended up winning in the Division 5 5-man event. So, Chris, how was your experience? Let's get you on as well.
I mean, it was fun. When I was there, it actually started for just Cooper, just doing the Young Guns line with Grayson, Nick, Anthony, and Tristan. My whole weekend was for them. I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, getting everything set up, making sure everything was good. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was definitely fun to win and definitely fun to play. But I mean, literally as soon as we won, it was all focused on these kids. And, I think I was more nervous watching them win and couldn't even watch the finals. They off the break, I couldn't watch. I had to turn around.
Oh, man.
I didn't know if they made 3 alive or not. So, I felt more comfortable playing than watching them. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I know exactly how you feel. Yeah, it's like you've done everything that you can do. It's just in their hands at that point, and you just you gotta trust that they can handle it from there, and that they did. So, this next question is looking forward to this next event, which is coming up in about just 1 week from tomorrow. The games start. So for the question for y'all, whoever wants to answer. So looking forward to NXL, which is a week from tomorrow. The layout dropped yesterday. What are y'all thinking of the layout? Let's start with Anthony on this one. So Anthony, what are you thinking about the layout for this one?
Honestly, looks like a pretty fun layout. I'm just waiting to play it this weekend, get a feel of it, figure out what all we can do for next weekend.
Cool. Grayson, what are you thinking about this layout? The layout that dropped yesterday for NXL.
I really like the new layout. It looks really good. The Doritos look nice too.
Definitely. Oh, I see y'all are holding up your layout sheets already. Awesome. You've got your call outs made. You're just studying it. Cool. Nick, what are you thinking about this layout?
I think it's really interesting. I really like the fact that you can get into the beast off break because, in a way, nobody can really lane that except if there's someone in the delta that's just ran their butt off to get there in half a second. And I think it's we've never played an NXL event. I think they're a lot more organized and I like maps that have nice centers so you can blind shot over a couple of bunkers and maybe get a lucky kill on someone. And I've actually played the map on Snapshot.
Cool. So for everyone listening, as far as getting to the beast off break, for anybody out there that's not quite sure what the beast is, what are y'all calling the beast?
It's the baby Dorito.
The baby Dorito on the outside. Got it. Yeah, that's definitely looking like a dangerous spot. Not too difficult to get to. So Cooper, what are you thinking of the layout?
I'm thinking of layout as just a whole twister. A tornado just went through the thing and just ruptured everything. Surprised there's no snake corner. That really surprised me. And there's the Doritos is very compacted for this layout. And the way that there's just so many lanes to have from both sides. The snake, you can have so many sides on the D side. It's just another crazy map, just like Bunkerfest.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. There's definitely gonna be a lot of action. Coach John, what are you thinking of the layout?
It looks like you're gonna be able to get out wide. Up the middle is gonna be kind of a tough run, but I'm a big fan of ladder snakes. I'm a big snake guy, so hopefully I can get in there. The last couple events we played, I mean, obviously Sunshine State and then Bunkerfest, you couldn't really do much from there. But yeah, hopefully it's a little faster than Florida, and who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a very big change of pace compared to Florida and compared to Bunkerfest. It's a whole new layout. So what are some of the things that you guys are going to be doing to prepare for NXL? For this NXL event, are y'all practicing both Saturday and Sunday? Are y'all mostly doing drills? Do you have a scrimmage lined up? What are some of the things that y'all are doing? Let's start with Nick. So Nick, what are y'all doing this weekend to prepare?
We're playing both days, and I think really what we're just going to do is try to get a feel of the layout. But it's going to be strange because Paintball Fits is all turf, and this is like our first NXL event, so it's the only one that we've done that is not turf. And so I've been practicing sliding in the front yard, which is not turf, and like I've been trying to make it like a bit muddy, so like just to like really represent how the tournament would feel like.
Gotcha. That's a interesting thing to think about. I can tell you that. So I live somewhat close to where the venue is going to be. It's grass that's well maintained, well taken care of. As far as how muddy it's going to be, I mean, the events always get muddy come Sunday just because of how much foot traffic goes through. There's certain spots that, like the high traffic spots off the break, the spots that everybody's going to go to, those are eventually going to get muddy just as you get in there. But sliding on grass, I always felt like, at least during the earlier parts of the tournament, it's easier, I think, than turf in a lot of cases, because you slide so much further. There's not really like hard ground that's going to stop you, at least like, and I know John's a little bit more familiar with this, like the turf over at Outlaw, there's like a lot of rock that the turf is on top of. So that tends to stop you pretty quick. But being on grass, I think y'all are going to have no problem sliding or diving. So let's go over to Cooper next. So Cooper, is there anything else that you're doing personally to prepare for NXL?
Yeah, just like Grayson, just gonna go out in the yard and slide and stuff. But also, thanks to Ozzy from DFW Adventure Park, yeah, he gave us a couple of bunkers. So I have like a money and like one of those baby Aztecs and a snake and a delta or a baby cake, and we're just gonna work on that snap shooting and playing with my sisters and how they're gonna play with our Orby guns, just practicing with them, letting them have fun and letting us have fun, and then also playing down at Fit, getting our like practice and stuff done, doing drills, sliding drills, and snapshots, 1v1s, and just playing against the D5 and D4 line, and just gonna have a good time out there. I'm also gonna be playing nightball down at Fit tomorrow.
Wow, that's a lot of paintball playing that you're going to be doing this weekend. It's really cool that you have those bunkers. Are they just in your backyard?
Yeah, they're just in my backyard. I just set them up by our trampoline, so just have some stuff to hide around and snap and practice with my dad.
Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I wish that I had the ability to do that. That's very cool that you get that opportunity, and you had that generous. The DFW Adventure Park, they were very generous with you, giving you those bunkers. So be sure to give them lots of thanks. So Grayson, what is something that you're doing to prepare for this NXL event?
I am going to be going to Saturday and Sunday paintball, and also just like every once in a while when I'm at home, I'll grab my gun and I'll just like do snap shooting. And then there's also a field over by my house that I go and shoot my gun and do a bunch of drills and all that.
Gotcha. So Anthony, I know I don't know if it's just you're ineligible to play the youth division at NXL events or what the case is there, but I know you're going to be playing D4 5-man with TKO. So what's something that you're doing to prepare for the NXL event?
I'm going to be going to Saturday and Sunday practice and at the house. I practice snapshots a lot. That's what I've been doing.
Cool. So it seems like Saturday and Sunday is the move, especially now that it's just one layout weekend. Awesome that Cooper's going to get to go to night ball tomorrow night as well. So this question, y'all, and everybody that's listening in the chat, let's see, I see that Alex is getting some questions in there. So everybody that's listening, we're getting towards the end. So I'm going to ask one more question from another one of our sponsors, and then we'll get to our questions that are in the chat. So this question is brought to us by Get That Shot, which is Carlos, who is a NXL media person, pro media, and message him at @GetDat_shot on Facebook or Instagram for media coverage at NXL or at Bunkerfest. So we'll go around for this one. John, we're going to start with you. So are there any Texas-based teams, players, brands, projects that have caught your attention lately? So who do you think in Texas paintball deserves more recognition for what they're doing?
Oof, put me on the spot for this one. Honestly, this podcast is doing a great job of giving exposure to the younger side of Texas paintball, and then introducing, as well as the old guy Colt Robert, Colt Lucal, those guys to the younger generation. You got Dan Shelley out of Outlaw, who's doing a lot of great things with pictures and video now, and I can't say enough good things about him. He was actually he was very much willing to take pictures for the kids at the youth event, and while he didn't ask for anything, obviously, I slid him a few bucks. Paintball Fit doing a great job of making sure that people have a place to play. Obviously, this weekend's going to get kind of wild up there, just with so many Texas teams being up there. And then you got to give it up to X Factor, right? Professional team, been around forever, and they're still competing every year, in and out. So, gotta respect that.
Oh yeah, some big names there for sure. Definitely everybody that you just listed doing great things. Give another shout out. I want to echo Dan Shelley. He's come out of nowhere, it seems. He just started, I think, seriously getting into it at the end of last year, started this year, and now he's a big name, it feels like. And I know he's done a lot of things with Dynasty. So it's really cool to see within the last year or so just how many like paintball media members have just exploded in popularity online. So it's really cool to see, like, especially from Texas. We have so many guys in Texas. Like, we've had Yosh Designs for a little while now. Verbal came up in popularity about, I'd say, like 2-3 years ago, and he's like the top of the top right now. You've got Carlos. I don't remember if Enrique is from Texas or not. You've got Dan Shelley. There's another guy at Fit. I want to say it's Dylan Filmed It. I think he's up at Fit as well. Yeah, and just so many different media members here in Texas that are all doing really great things. I'll give another shout out to AFG Filming. That's one of my teammates, Don. He's really climbing up as well. So yeah, just lots of really good media members in Texas. We've got a lot of great options. So let's go around and ask everybody this question as well. So either one person or maybe a team, a player, a field, maybe like a brand, anything that you find cool in Texas, or maybe someone that you look up to as well. So let's start with Anthony.
I'd honestly probably say Fun on the Run Paintball Park, because my first ever team was PPS SFO, and they were the first team to teach me how to play tournament paintball and helped me to get me where I was starting to begin to keep playing.
Shout out to Fun on the Run. I know they've been around for a long time now. Let's go with Grayson next.
I just watch paintball on YouTube, and one person that I kind of look up to is Nick, because he plays the Doritos with me, and like when I like watch him like go up the Doritos, like inspires me to like try and do that. And then when I try and do that, I get a little better every time.
Awesome. Nick, let's go with you next. So, Nick, what's your answer there? Anybody in Texas, either if they're a player, coach, a field, a brand, who do you look up to? Who do you think they're just cool?
He's actually a great friend of mine. His name's Nick Masons. He runs Masons. It's a paintball shop. He's just like really a super nice guy. Like we go golfing with him a lot. And his team is Ultra, and me, Grayson, and Cooper potted for them, and they gave us $40.
Nice. Shout out to Nick Mays. He's really been at the grind for a while. He started doing his online sales right around when I got into tournament paintball, around 2015, 2016, I think is when he really started getting on Facebook to do it. And I mean, look at him now. He's got a retail store. That's really cool. Shout out to Nick Mays. He's actually been on the podcast as well. So Cooper, how about you? Who's someone that you think is cool or that you look up to?
I have a ton actually, but I'm gonna have to give it to Scott, Scott from Paintball Fit.
32.
32. Well, he just gave us a sponsor, so I'm gonna have to give it to him, and then I'm also gonna have to give it to the Fit family and all those guys over there, like including like Sarah, JD, the Lukow brothers, and then one more thanks to DFW Adventure Park, Oz, Ozzy, and Ross, all those guys down there that play, and PB Gateway. So just big thanks and for like all of them gave me a ton of stuff. And I want to thank one more Charm City for these headbands.
Man, look at that. Just 11 years old and already thanking all of your sponsors like a pro, not forgetting anybody either. That's awesome. Yeah, you're natural at it. All right. So looking at the chat now for some questions. Let's see. Aussie Boy's asking, how heavy are the belts? They look sick.
Probably say around 20, 15 pounds, at most 30.
They're a solid like 25, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
They're heavy duty there, huh?
Yeah,
they are.
You know, they're straight metal, long so much. Always blows everybody's minds when I go to show them. Nice.
All right. Next question is from Alex. Actually, no. Looks like John already answered that question in the chat from Alex. We won't go over that. So, let's see. This last question is actually from Chris Harrison. So, what are your favorite parts of paintball? Let's start with Nick. What's your favorite part of paintball?
Definitely, it's like one of those only sports where people are shooting at you and you can shoot back at them. It's like it's just really that and airsoft. And I like that there's like this great community at Paintball Fit. Like everybody's helping. Like Brandon, he gave me a jersey and a bandana when like I didn't really have much stuff. And I think like all the teams, like they're not really like rude to each other. And I think all of like just the people like Cooper was saying, like Sarah and JD and all those people, I think it's just a really great community.
Awesome. Let's go with Grayson. What's your favorite part of paintball?
My favorite part of paintball is just being able to get out there, shoot at people, get shot at, and just to play paintball in general. I think it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Cooper, what's your favorite part of paintball?
Honestly, it's just the paintballs in general. It's just to go out, have some fun, get shot. Because Bunkerfest, all I was doing is getting shot at because I'm so small and dangerous. Just so the point of having paintball is just a very fun. And like Nick said, the community for paintball, so nice. One of the best communities I've been in.
Absolutely agree, especially here in Texas. Anthony, how about you? What's your favorite part of paintball?
Honestly, just playing with people you love playing with and shooting people back, you getting shot, and just having. I like playing competitive, really.
Yeah, it's definitely all about the relationships that you're making, especially with your teammates. Those moments are very special. So, that about does it for our show. This final question is brought to us by Compete, which is Jell Stewart's brand. Message him on Facebook or Instagram and mention In the Pits for 10% off of your order. So everybody, thank you for your time. We'll go around one last time for everybody. Any last shout outs or things you'd like to say before we sign off? Let's start with Anthony.
I mean, shout out to Fit. I mean, that's really it. Shout out to Fit, Ultra Silk, Compete, TKO. That's really about it.
All right. Grayson, any last shout outs or things you'd like to say?
Shout out to Paintball Fit for sure. It's a great community and all that. I just love paintball. It's fun to just be out there and play.
Cooper, any last shout outs or things you'd like to say?
And I'd like to shout out the atomic pickleballs for snap shooting, like putting 3 cups on your couch and snap shooting behind a wall, saying like my dad doing like a red, an orange, and a green cup, and you'd have to hide behind the wall and you'd say, "Hey, shoot the green cup." You'd go out and shoot that. Also shout out to Fit, Lone Star, DFW Adventure Park, and Paintball Gateway.
Very
Amazing
cool.
company.
Yeah, fun fact actually about the pickleball. I actually got to help prototype them. I was playing with the Texas Longhorns a couple of years ago, and they messaged us and they were like, "Hey, you guys play a lot," and we had our contact info and Facebook page all set up, and that was a couple of years ago before that really became a big thing on Facebook. So they reached out to us and they said, "Hey, you want to come test these out and let us know what you think." So I got to prototype the pickleball, so it was really cool.
Nice.
And
That's
then
cool.
last one, Nick, do you have any shout outs or things you'd like to say before we sign off?
Honestly, the only people that I would really shout out is like the people from Infamous, like Ben. I think they make some of like the most high quality stuff. Like their paint's super good. I have one of their pod packs. It's the one I use the most. And like I've met one of them, like Ben. He's always like super helpful whenever I'm at the field. Like their main practice spot is Giant Sports, and I was out there once, and they were like being so nice. They let me practice with them. It was really fun.
Yeah, Ben's a great dude for sure. Infamous. I see them online every now and then. They seem like great guys. I know that Thomas Taylor has his son in youth line as well. I know that y'all are hopefully going to get to play against them here next weekend. So that'll be a fun, exciting thing. I think they're signed up for this NXL event. I could be wrong there.
No, actually, we're lucky enough
play with TKO for Round Rock.
Gotcha. All right.
I want to give one more shout out to Thomas Taylor and his boys, and I want to give one more shout out to Tyler Harmon for this amazing, beautiful TM40. I'll come up and show y'all real quick. It's amazing.
Oh, wow. That is great. And Tyler Harmon hooked you up.
Yeah, he did.
That's awesome. So, John, do you have any shout outs or things you'd like to say before you sign off?
Yeah, just quick shout out. Fit, Hydro, Compete, Ultra Silk, Charm City. They just hooked them up with a new headband for the kids. KO, Virtue, BK, XXV, and Welts. Had to plug it. No, but again, Jell and all those guys, Jell, Alex, Omar, Malik, they're all doing a great job of fostering a youth or a D5 line fit where you're not just pay dues or anything like that. You just come out, play, get better at paintball. So shout out to those guys, and hopefully they continue to do good things.
Awesome. Absolutely. They're all great for the sport of paintball. They've done a lot of fantastic things for us. So everybody that's listening, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to
Wait,
go. Oh, you got one more thing?
Yeah, I just really want to give a big shout out to Alex. He is pretty much the founder of this team. He really when I joined, he pretty much just gave me a community of our own, a spot where all of the kids would fit in. And I think he's just I think his idea of having a youth young gun, I think we're gonna go far. Once we get into those higher divisions, we'll move up, and then we'll maybe be make an own, maybe be our own pro team.
Oh yeah, that's the goal, right? I expect to see y'all on the pro field on Go Sports here pretty soon. All right, y'all. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Alex for kind of keeping this all together. So y'all, thank you everybody again so much for tuning in. Be sure to go follow TKO Texas Knockout. That's at TKO_Texas Knockout on Instagram. What other guests would you like to see on the show? Be sure to leave a comment down below, and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. The show goes live weekly here on youtube.com/@inthepitspaintballpodcast, and recordings are posted to YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify the next day. Shout out to my partners and sponsors. That's FUAthletics, which I actually don't think that we mentioned here on this one. So very quickly, FUAthletics, they make athletic wear. It's my buddy Thomas, who's on the Texas Titans. Be sure to go to his website, use code INTHEPITS25. I think it's INTHEPITS25 for 25% off of your order. Or it might be INTHEPITS10 or something like that. I got to look at that. Sorry, Thomas. Also, shout out to Get That Shot, Paintball Kumite, compete in Hustletown Paintball. We will see you guys next week for episode 45, where we will have Gio Cardiel of Austin Notorious D4. Just won Bunkerfest, just won USXBL, got finals MVP for both of them. So he's a man on fire right now. So we'll get to talk to him next week. TKO, all of you guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. You too. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you. Good too.